Amtrak's Southwest Chief, from the towers of Chicago to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. This 2-day, 2-night trip will take us through the plains and desert mountains of the southwestern United States, so climb aboard and let's get this adventure started. Our journey begins at Chicago Union Station. It was opened in 1919 and is the third station to occupy this site. 16 different Amtrak trains originate or terminate here. The Great Hall has a 110-foot tall atrium and encompasses 24,000 square feet where there is plenty of seating for you to wait for your train. The Chicago station also has a Metropolitan Lounge which offers free snacks and drinks to first class or sleeper car passengers. Unfortunately, we were a little bit late, and when we got to the station, our train was already boarding. We listened for the announcements and start heading towards track 18. As we get onto the platform, we can see our train waiting for us and start boarding. The Southwest Chief operates bi-level superliner coaches. After boarding the train, we find our roomette. This will be our accommodation for the first part of our journey today. In the upper right-hand corner is a floor plan of a typical sleeper coach. You can see roomettes dominate the floor plan, and there are also bedrooms as well as bathrooms. Looking over the coach here, we can see that there are 2 seats as well as a set of stairs going up to the upper bunk. The upper bunk folds down from the top of the ceiling, and the other bunk is made out of the 2 chairs that are currently in the daytime configuration. Our route today will take us from Chicago all the way west through Illinois. We will briefly touch Iowa as the sun starts to set and travel through Missouri and Kansas through the night. Day 2 will have us going through Colorado and New Mexico. We will hit Arizona at nightfall and pull into Los Angeles the next morning around 8 a.m. As we pull out of Chicago, we pass by the Chicago Yards. It is the largest Amtrak yard, so you never know what you will see. Always keep your eyes open. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. It's completely free, but it really helps the channel out. If you'd like to help me out even more, consider joining my Patreon. It's the top link in the video description. There you can get early access to videos, exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, and help make trips like this possible. Continuing to roll through the yard with the Chicago skyline in the background, we can see a whole bunch of different equipment, from P-42s to venture coaches, even superliner bi-level cars like we're on right now. Continuing westbound, we roll through the suburbs of Chicago, making our way for the vast open farmland. As everything is about to get a lot more scenic, it makes it the perfect time to head to the Sightseer Lounge car. On the top of the screen, you can see the typical floor plan for the Sightseer Lounge car that has table seating, a lounge area, as well as an observation area. The lounge car is also the bar and snack car. Downstairs is where you can purchase a whole plethora of snacks and drinks during your time on the train. This Chardonnay was a limited time offering, so we absolutely had to try it, and it was spectacular. It is open to all passengers, so just know that the seats are first come first served, so make sure to get there early. As we watch the golden fields pass us by, we really get to sit back, relax, and enjoy everything that this train has to offer. Every few stops, Amtrak offers what's called a fresh air break. It's nice to get off the train and walk around on solid ground. It's also a great opportunity to smoke or vape if you partake. Getting back on the train, let's talk about meals. You can pause if you'd like to look at the menu. Dinner is 3 courses plus alcohol. Breakfast and lunch we will see later. For dinner tonight, I went with the salad while my wife went with the shrimp for our appetizers. Steak was my entree, while she decided to go with the salmon. Dessert was definitely the star of the show. I went for the blueberry cobbler cheesecake, while my wife the chocolate spoon cake. As the sun sets, it's time to get ready for bed. This is the roomette in the nighttime configuration, with the upper and lower bunk both ready for bed. Your car attendant will set up your bed for you, all you have to do is ask. It might be tight for 2 people, but it's definitely cozy and will fit you as well as everything else. There is only one outlet for the entire room, so make sure to bring a power strip if you have more than one device to charge. Here are the steps to get to the upper bunk. They are very narrow. Eye masks and earplugs will be your friend if you have any sensitivity to light or sound while you try to sleep. The hall lights stay on in the sleeper at night, and the curtains don't always block everything out. The superliners also tend to make a lot of noise and rattles as it travels through the night, so make sure to bring earplugs if you need them. Traveling through the night through Kansas, there really isn't much to see other than the occasional lights in the distance. Breakfast comes early as we will be disembarking the train in Colorado, but getting right back on. For breakfast, I decided to go with the Amtrak signature French toast while my wife had the breakfast quesadilla. Both options were absolutely delightful. Watching the train approach in La Junta, Colorado, we could see the next part of my journey, where I will be taking coach to Albuquerque. Getting on board is just the same as it is for the sleeper car. There's some luggage storage right at the bottom as soon as you enter. Coach is in a 2x2 configuration for the entire upstairs as well as downstairs. Finding our seat, we can see that we have plenty of legroom as well as footrests. This is much better than air travel. There's a tray table that folds down from the seat in front of you, although sometimes it can be a little stiff or even dirty. You might want to bring some Clorox wipes with you to wipe it down. On some of the older coaches, it is a little bit difficult to put the tray tables away, so you might have to push a little extra hard. Always be courteous to the people that might be in the seat in front of you. Above you, you'll have 2 reading lights as well as an attendant call button. The seats are wide and comfortable and even include a lower leg rest. They do recline fairly deeply, and there are 2 outlets located next to each seat. These 2 outlets are for the entire row, so be courteous if you have a seatmate. Let's look at a typical floor plan. Here we can see all the seating upstairs as well as some of the seating downstairs. Bathrooms are also located on the lower level. We'll take a closer look in a future video. One thing to know, during booking you can choose either upper or lower level. Upper level seats will always face the direction of travel, while lower level seats do not have the same guarantee. Passing through the American Southwest, it is absolutely stunning views. The snow-topped mountains in the distance make it look like a painting. Heading to the back of the train, we can see one of my favorite views on Amtrak, watching the rails and the scenery disappear behind us. This is also the perfect opportunity to talk about one of the negatives about the Southwest Chief. Going through Colorado, we go from continuously welded rail to jointed rail. Jointed rail is what gives you the typical clickety-clack as you go down the track, as you can hear right now. The disadvantage to jointed rail is that it tosses you around and you feel like you might vibrate out of your seat. Continuing our climb, we approach Raton Pass. Raton is the highest point on the Southwest Chief, reaching 7,588 feet. Shortly after the tunnel, we enter the town of Raton. Raton was originally called Willow Springs back in 1877, and the railroad showed up a year later in 1878. The town was then renamed Raton in 1880. It was a large mining and ranching town at the time. We continue our march towards Albuquerque, and the views become even more expansive. The Southwest Chief really does embody everything that the American Southwest has to offer, from the wide open plains to the snowy mountains in the distance. The views on both sides of the train are absolutely amazing, and there really is no better side for this trip. As always, I encourage going to the lounge car to enjoy as many views as possible. Now we enter Las Vegas, but not that one. Las Vegas, New Mexico. It has beautiful, old, southwestern charms to it. Heading out of Las Vegas, the New Mexico views continue to impress with large mesas, wide open desert, and sagebrush as far as the eye can see. Lamy is our next stop, and it's the connection to Santa Fe. It's also the endpoint of the Sky Railway. The Sky Railway is awesome and definitely worth checking out. Maybe I'll bring you guys along with me in a future video. Approaching Albuquerque, we have to take the siding and wait for the Rail Runner to pass us. Rail Runner is the local commuter train here in New Mexico. Pulling into Albuquerque, we can see the beautiful station with its southwestern architecture. Albuquerque is a major stop for the train where all of its systems are checked and gone through before we continue on. After spending some time in Albuquerque, I get back on the train in a sleeper car. For the final stretch from Albuquerque to Los Angeles, I will be in the transition car. It's the sleeper car closest to the engine, and it's also where all the crew are. We'll take a closer look at this car in detail in a future video. We will once again be in a roomette for this part of the journey, and it is almost identical to the roomette that we were in for the first part of this journey. The only difference is now we are in a superliner 2 instead of a superliner 1. Again, I'll cover all those differences soon. Pulling out of Albuquerque, we get ready to enter even more of a barren desert than we saw earlier and make our way to the beautiful coastal city of Los Angeles. The difference between the two landscapes on the same train is truly awe-inspiring. We watch the sunset out the window and the desert roll past as we get ready for dinner. For dinner tonight, I went with the salad and the steak. It was so delicious, I forgot to show you what it looked like when it arrived. Dessert again was perfect with the blueberry cobbler cheesecake. After dinner, we head back to our room and find that our attendant has already converted it into its nighttime configuration. Being as it's just me on this leg of the trip, only the lower bunk was converted. We didn't touch the upper bunk. Rolling through the night on Amtrak once again, it's time to go to bed, so I'll see you in the morning. The next morning, we find ourselves in San Bernardino, California. We arrive at this station at about 5:45 a.m. Shortly after, it is time to get some breakfast. I went with the breakfast quesadilla this morning. Heading back to our room, it is the perfect time to show you a safety tip. Always make sure to wear your shoes whenever you are moving about the train on Amtrak, especially changing cars. As the train rolls down the track, the two cars will move independently of each other, and this is the area where they interface. It is a very easy spot to get your foot caught, so always pay extra attention whenever you're moving in between the cars. Looking out our window, we can see the famous California traffic. This is when I'm really happy that I'm on a train and not stuck on the highway like everybody we see here. It does unfortunately mean that our journey is about to come to an end, so we make sure that we are packed up and ready to go as we see the Los Angeles skyline in the distance. Arriving at Los Angeles Union Station, we get ready to head to the main station building and look at the beautiful architecture that it has to offer. There is a tunnel that goes underneath the tracks, connecting all of the platforms to the proper station itself. Los Angeles Union Station was commissioned in 1933 as a joint venture between the Southern Pacific, Union Pacific, and Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe railroads. The facility was completed in 1939 with a reported cost of over $11 million to build. It is the largest train terminal in the western United States and was designed by a father and son team, Donald and John Parkinson. It has 14 tracks for heavy rail and additional tracks for light rail service underneath the station and services more than 500 trains a day. The ticket concourse that we are currently looking at is 11,600 square feet, 145 feet long and 80 feet wide, with 61-foot high ceilings. Here you can see they even recreated some of the original arrival and departure boards. This station is absolutely magnificent and definitely worth the time to check out if you're in the area. The views outside are just as pretty as the views inside. Thanks for coming along with me and watching. I really hope you enjoyed everything. Make sure to come back next month where we will go over all the different private room types, from roomettes to bedrooms, family bedrooms, and accessible bedrooms. We will also go over everything that you need to know about coach, as well as the rest of the train. So until then, I hope to see you on the rails for another epic adventure.